As a kid, I wore my emotions on my sleeve. I can only remember my parents ever fighting once, but that freaked me out a little bit, and so after running around unsure for a few minutes, I went in my room and drew them a little picture to try to fix it, and I like to think that it did. There was a time when my parents painted over a piece of art in the house, and I hid under a table and cried because I liked the old painting. Then my mom died. I cried, and then I had to move on, so I did. And since then, I haven't really grieved. Of course, I'm not the only one like that. It's not just a way of coping with death. In my high school health class, we read an excerpt from the book The Mask of Masculinity, which talks about how boys are socialized not to cry and to view emotions as weak. And that echoes throughout the culture, in workplaces or relationships or families. Well, you're just getting emotional. Maybe you should sleep on it, clear your head. And when somebody does have a strong emotion, it's always a problem to be solved with a therapist or a bottle or pills. It was good to read that because it helped me put a name to it and see it as a part of the culture. But that didn't change that I had internalized the mask of masculinity, that it was a part of me, that it still is, that I'm not the only one. And I don't even view it as a problem, not really. It doesn't feel like my grief is bottled up or repressed or unprocessed. It just feels like when tragedy happens, I can usually acknowledge it and then put one foot in front of the other and try to do what needs to be done. If you don't know what to do in times of grief, communal or individual, it's okay. I don't either. When somebody's crying, I never know how to comfort them. But I can get them some ice cream or help clean up. When a coworker reads the news and thinks that could have been me, I can take some of their meetings so they don't have to. Karen Blixen wrote, "The cure for everything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea." Maybe we're just each using a different kind of salt water. And it's okay that we use different kinds of salt water. Our seventh principle calls on us to respect the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. Interdependence doesn't mean that we all grieve the same way. It doesn't mean that there's one right way to grieve. Sometimes one person's heart is broken apart by cruelty or misfortune or death or life. And someone else has a heart that stubbornly refuses to break. Neither is wrong. When we respect our interdependence, it means that one person can shoulder the burden while the other one heals.